And welcome here to the beautiful facility here at Greater Atlanta Christian as we bring you blue collar basketball action. We've got a 14-12 ball game currently in favor of North Gwinnett, as it's now a 15-12 ball game thanks to Mr. Colby Leifson and that trip to the charity stripe. 3 minutes left to play here in the first quarter. The Pope High School Greyhounds versus the Bulldogs of North Gwinnett. Stepping through there, going to get called for a travel. It's going to go against Chase Hutchins. So ball back over to North Gwinnett. Appreciate you joining us here for this Greater Atlanta Christian Showcase presented by Blue Collar Basketball. It appears we've actually got an injury there on the floor. Player temporarily down. That's number 24. For North Gwinnett, that's Mikey Joseph. Joseph a little shaken up. So hopefully he's okay. We've got great staff here on site to be able to make sure they do whatever they can. So we'll let you know any sort of update when we get one. Till then, we'll take a short break. When we get back, we'll bring you more from the Blue Collar Basketball Showcase. And welcome back here on site. Is Mikey Joseph able to walk off under his own power? Not sure what's ailing the young man, but it's a good sign he's able to walk off, and he's being tended to by the training staff here on site now. Back to the ball game. It's 15-12 in favor of North Gwinnett. Marcus Burnett, appreciate you joining us here on SUVtv as we'll have action for you this entire day. Good defense there by the Greyhounds of Pope. Here comes the other way is Hutchins. Big fella with the elbow jumper, just short. Hutchins with the offensive rebound, wheeling and dealing inside. He's fouled. That's going to send Chase Hutchins to the free throw line. Hutchins, a 6'2" senior guard, signed to play his college ball at Georgia College and State University. Despite the athletic side of things that you'll see Hutchins represent that university on, also very well known for his academic programs and reputation as well. Able to knock down both free throws. Here's Hutchins. He'll make it a 14-15 ball game. Going to have a foul here, a little bit of full court pressure being applied by Pope. Foul's called. Stuckey to inbound it on the sidelines for North Gwinnett. Corner three-pointer coming for Leifson. Just in and out. Rebound snatched out of there by Garrick DeBoles. And here comes Pope the other way. Pull-up jumper along the baseline. No good. Nice job of attacking the offensive glass. A nice athletic tip in. That's DeBoles. Aggressive rebound on one end, comes right back, gets the athletic tip to make it 15-16. Stuckey with it up top for North Gwinnett. He'll swing it over. Now here's KJ Hancock. Three-pointer on the way. Ice cream. That is number 4, Ethan Smith, for North Gwinnett. Covered the Jericho Classic here on SUVtv, and every time I was in the gym, Ethan Smith was there by himself. getting jumpers up. The repetitions and the work paying off there on that play. Hutchins with the pass, three-pointer on the way. Cash money that's knocked down by Mitchell Hollis. Both teams with an efficient first quarter here so far. Working for good shots, getting good shots, and knocking the lion's share of them down. We've got a 19-18 ball game here. Hancock with it. Bullet pass inside to James. James has it partially blocked. Good defense there by Drew Ramich. Now it's in the hands of Cooperman. Not for long. Here's Hollis. Hollis, can he get back-to-back threes? Yes, he can. Gives the Greyhounds a 4-point advantage. Hollis filling it from outside. That ball's going to go out of bounds. They say off of the shin of Hancock. Back over to Pope. The Greyhounds with a little bit of momentum. We'll see how they wrap up the first quarter. We've got 24 seconds and counting left to play here in the first installment. Appears obvious that Pope will hold for the last shot. Hutchins has it. Just probing the defense, and he gets called for the offensive foul. Stepping in there, taking the charge, number 3, Jack Stuckey for North Gwinnett. Stuckey, the sharpshooter, is his designation here on this North Gwinnett team, but he does a lot of little things that people might not notice if you haven't been able to cover some of the North Gwinnett games. He doesn't mind taking a charge, boxing out, diving for the 50-50 ball. It's good if it goes. A little too strong there by Hancock, but we appreciate you joining us here on SUVtv. That is going to do it for the first quarter. It's a 22-18 ball game, 4-point advantage for the Greyhounds of Pope. We'll be back shortly. And welcome back to the action as we start the second quarter. It's a 4-point advantage for the Greyhounds of Pope. They are the guest team here, though it's a neutral site. North Gwinnett in the home whites. That shot's off the mark. Here comes Pope the other way. That's Hollis. Had 2 3-pointers there in the first quarter. Here we see him with this first one of the second installment. He'll make it a 25-18 ball game. Stuckey gets it over to Hancock. Smith trying to get that one out to Hancock. Seven-point advantage now for Pope after that last Hollis 3. They get it in. Ethan Smith over to Hancock. Here's James. Up top to Stuckey. Stuckey going to get fouled on the play. It'll be on the floor. .6:25 left to play here in the second quarter. Stuckey good at the free throw line. He doesn't miss too many from there. He makes it 19-25. Off the mark on the second one. Broadcasters jinx if I ever heard it. Pope with it on offense. Cooperman was in trouble, got out of it quickly. Nice ball movement by Pope. That should be a 2 if it goes. Count it. Tyler Borko. The Greyhounds have shot it well. Borko's no exception. He makes it 19-28. Anticipating, getting in the passing lanes. Borko the other way. Misses the shot, but he's going to go to the line to shoot 2. Borko, the senior guard for Coach Abney's Greyhounds team. .5:47 left to play here in the second quarter. Our next matchup will feature Peachtree Ridge versus Berkmar. Be sure to stick with us for that one. Borko knocks down the first free throw. Second free throw in and out for Borko. He's not happy about it. But it's a double-digit advantage here for Pope. See North Gwinnett without the services of Cameron Calhoun today. As well as Jay Stackhouse. James gonna try a three-pointer. Off the mark. Rebound. They attempt to snatch it away. Doris Borko is going to be last touch by Pope. Subbing back into the game for North Gwinnett, number 13, Colby Leifson. So the Bulldogs will inbound. Creeping in the back door, but nice recovery by DeBoles. Toshkis trying to work inside, has it poked away, but James is right there. Stuckey, good look from 3. He's off the mark. DeBoles, another rebound inside for Pope. He's rebounded very well, the Embry-Riddle signee. Definitely making his presence inside count. So 19-29, just under 5 minutes left to play here in the second quarter. Three from the corner. That young man is feeling it right now. Mitchell Hollis. He's got his 4th three-pointer of the game. He'll make it 32-19. Leifson over to Hancock. Nearly a steal there. Leifson able to come away with it. Gets it up and follows his shot. Sure, he just wanted to make, but nice job of following his shot just in case. Pope gets it inside. Caught up, so he gets it out. Nearly stolen by Leifson, but the Greyhounds retain possession. DeBole's going to try the mid-range. Could have been a possible and one there as Tochik initiated a little contact there on the contest. But it's a jumper for DeBoles. He'll make it 22-34. Nice hustle by both teams there as we got a tie up between James and Hollis. Checking into the game for North Gwinnett will be number 10, Jaden Sultan. junior guard. Ball will be brought up by Cooperman. Now it's in the hands of Hollis. Baylor gets it back out. Pope been very comfortable out there on the offensive end, just moving the ball around, taking the best shot available as DeBose gets back-to-back mid-range jumpers to make it 22-36. James with it up top. They'll kick it to the corner. Now Leapson will bring it out of there. Back to James. Stuckey off the mark, has that one smacked out of there by DeBose. Bowles definitely a presence inside here for Pope. We've seen him rebound the ball. Saw him reject that one out of there also. Here's Hancock going to try to move. Two Greyhound defenders right there. And, of course, who else is there for the rebound other than the 6'5 senior, DeBose. 2 minutes, 31 seconds left to play here in the first half. So we get ready for Berkmar versus Peachtree Ridge. That'll be the game after this one. So be sure to stick with us and check that one out. As far as our lineup today, after Berkmar Peachtree Ridge, it will be Laney versus Norcross. Laney out of the Augusta area. Our last SUVtv broadcast, it was Laney defeating then number 22 ranked Pebblebrook. 22 being that Max Prep's national ranking. Defeated by the Laney Wildcats out of the Augusta area. A team that is definitely having a solid season up to this point. And then after Laney Norcross, it's Pebblebrook. The aforementioned Pebblebrook taking on Green Forest Christian. And our nightcap will be the host, GAC, taking on McIntosh and the Chiefs. So great day of basketball, great facility, can't beat it. Hancock beating the defender to the rack and one. Much needed bucket there for North Gwinnett. So they've got a 14-point advantage here, 2 minutes, 14 seconds left to play here in the first half. Always good to touch base with Coach Witherspoon over at Berkmar. A program that is no stranger to the Witherspoon last name. Is his brother, Will Witherspoon, a former Memphis standout. Had a stint in the NBA as well. So be sure to stick with us for all of the action. Hancock forces the turnover. He'll come the other way. I'm sorry, that's Wesley Witherspoon. That was the former Memphis player. And had a stint with a few NBA teams as well, currently playing ball overseas. It's got to be nice when you've got, multiple players with the same last name there in that household that have been able to play at different levels, that you get them all mixed up. Good problem to have. North Gwinnett trying to deal with the problem of the Greyhounds. That Stuckey three is a nice way to be able to do so as he pulls them to within 11. Just over a minute left to play here in the second quarter. Pope doing a great job of moving the ball. There's a rare three-point miss for Pope here in the first half. Trying to go after it was Borko, but he's going to pick up the foul. So that is going to send James to the free throw line. James good on the first. North Gwinnett has a chance to cut the deficit to single digits here. James good on the second. So we got a 9-point ball game if you're North Gwinnett, and you can be able to go into the locker room only down, 6, 7 points. You're in good shape given this solid first half by Pope. But saying not so fast. We're going in at halftime up double digits. Again, it's Mitchell Hollis. I believe that's his 5th three-pointer here in the first half. He's a junior, shooting it like a senior out there. Leafson, nice job of keeping that one in bounds. Shows the length there. Hancock off the mark on the 3. DeBoles with another rebound. Wouldn't be surprised if he's got double-digit rebounds here in the first half alone. Oh, nice pass intended for DeBoles. Goes through his hands. All might be well that ends well, as the loose ball is picked up by Borko. And that will be the way that the first half ends. We appreciate you joining us here on SUVtv. When we get back, we'll bring you the second half, Pope versus North Gwinnett.
We are at halftime of the Pope North Gwinnett game. Pope is leading North Gwinnett 43-29. I'm joined here by Peachtree Ridge head coach Keith Arrington. Coach, you guys started off the season 4-0, 4 good wins. A little bit of a slide here last few games. How you feeling about your team? What's the focus right now? What's the message to your guys?
Well, we're just trying to be a little bit more consistent with our effort. The first loss was against Shiloh, and we know they're pretty good. We were leading at halftime. Played Duluth, they're 9-1. We were leading at halftime. Now we had a little slide last night and played poorly to start with, but we played hard in the second half. We just got to get a little bit more consistent with our effort and play a whole 32 minutes.
And you guys play Berkmar today, and Berkmar's got a nice team, and they're well coached and present a lot of challenges. What's the focus going into playing a team like Berkmar?
Well, I'm assuming both of us had region games last night, so we're probably not spent a lot of time preparing for this game. But it's a good chance for us to get better. We know Berkmar has been very good last 4 or 5 years since Coach Phillips has been there. Made it to the Elite Eight last 2 years or 3 years.
3 years in a row, yeah.
And they're one of the best programs in the county and of course in the state. So it's going to be a good test for us, and we're looking forward to it. But we better bring our game or we'll be in trouble.
Well, Coach, I'm excited about watching you guys today. Thanks so much for being a part of today. Best of luck to you.
Thank you, bud.
All right.
Thank you.
Back here at GAC, Sam Allen. I'm joined now by Greg Phillips. Again, it's halftime of the Pope and North Gwinnett game. Pope is leading North Gwinnett 43-29. Coach, you guys have had some struggles here early part of the season, in large part just you haven't had a consistent roster on the floor. Talk to us, Greg, about where your team's at, message you're giving your guys right now.
Well, we just want to use this opportunity to get better. This prepares us for region play when we come back. We come back from region and we play Shiloh, Tequila, and Archer, arguably our 3 best teams in our region. We haven't played them yet, so playing a team like Peachtree Ridge will get us ready for that.
Absolutely. So let's talk about Peachtree Ridge. They're always a tough team, defensive-minded team. Coach Arrington does a great job. I'm sure you've scouted them live and maybe even on film. Talk to us about the focus going into this game in particular.
Yeah, obviously they have arguably one of the best point guards in the state, so we got to do a really good job on stopping him, keeping him on the perimeter, and then running the rest of their guys off the three-point line. They're a great shooting team. They missed maybe 3 threes against GAC, so if we can do a good job of limiting the threes and contesting them, we might be all right.
And then third question for you, final one. Who are you leaning on this year to kind of be leaders of your team? You lost a lot off last year with Sanks and Rowe. And who are you leaning on this year?
Yeah, positive is these guys practiced against them all last year. So, obviously Al Durham, sophomore, but he's a leader. Big Josh Culver signed with Tuskegee. He's someone we're leaning on. So those two, and then Lane Foster at point guard, running the show and just, getting guys to buy into what we're doing, which is to defend.
Absolutely. Well, we appreciate you being here and excited to watch you guys play today. Thanks a lot.
Absolutely. Thanks for having us.
All right.
second half action. North Gwinnett versus Pope. Pope in full control of this one. I'm Marcus Burnett. I have the pleasure of being joined on the mic by Rick Torbett of Better Basketball, as well as Sam Allen, the tournament director here for the showcase. Sam, it's a pleasure to have you guys on.
Marcus, thanks a lot for having us. Gosh, I'm so excited about today. We've got 5 great games, Marcus, and starting off with a good one. An undefeated Pope team here that went to the second round of state, Marcus, and returned all 5 starters. And excited to see if North Gwinnett can get back in this game. But yeah, I just want to take a moment and recognize our sponsors and what they allow us to do in putting on a first-class event. Quick shout out to Better Basketball. In a moment, I'll touch on that with Rick being here, and Point Guard College, Crossover, Breda Pest Management, Court Cred, and All-American Specialties. But Rick, it's great to have you here, and I just wanted to introduce our listeners to you. Rick is the owner of Better Basketball and widely known now as innovator and creator of the Read and React offense. And we're excited to have you on the broadcast today, Rick.
Well, thanks, Sam. What a fun day. I can't think of a better way to spend a Saturday.
And so, Rick, a lot of people may or may not know this, but you were a high school coach for a long time before going full-fledged with Better Basketball and growing it into what it is today. So, being back in the high school gym, this brings back old memories, I'm sure.
Oh,
for you.
Sure does. Yeah, even here at Greater Atlanta Christian, we competed against GAC. So, yeah, 24 years of high school basketball. So, I'm real familiar. My hands are sweating right now.
Well, Rick, I just wanted to personally thank you for the support that you guys have brought to our events, not just this year, but in years past, and really helps us put on a first-class event for the athletes and participating coaches. And just want to say thank you so much for your support.
Well, thanks, Sam. I mean, anytime I can be a part of blue-collar basketball, I want to be. So everything you've done it with class, and just like this. Sorry, I'm distracted watching the game. This is a really good game. Whatever it is you put on, it's evident. The work that you put into it ahead of time, it's evident.
Yeah, well, thank you so much, Rick, and yeah, glad to have you on the broadcast and today. And Marcus, I'm going to kind of let you guys take it from here. Looks like we got a 47-34 lead now with Pope Air Force Academy signee Drew Romick on the line here.
Yeah, they're still in striking distance. Yeah. North Gwinnett is.
I think when you look at it, this is North Gwinnett team playing without the services of Cameron Calhoun, Jay Stackhouse, 2 very stabilizing forces for those guys when you look at their normal flow. You know, the glass is still half full. Like you mentioned, Coach, they're in striking distance despite those players not being out there. And a very solid first half by Pope.
Yeah. It shows on the perimeter, I think. You know, Pope can put just a little more pressure on the perimeter than North Gwinnett can, and of course when you have to go, I hate to call anybody a second-tier player, but when you do, you feel like you've got to run your plays, get into something that the players are comfortable with, and I just haven't seen. I mean, except for 2 points in the first half. All the other points by North Gwinnett have come just from breakdown stuff, from trying to run the play, getting pressured, breaking down, driving, engaging kicking to an open player. There was 1 basket that came off of a set play. And I think Pope knows that. So right now, they can get out there on the perimeter and really, really pressure these guys, knowing that they feel like they've got to run that set play.
Yeah, and just looking right now, I mean, Pope is pushing this offense a good 35 feet from the basket, taking them a little bit out of their offense.
Yep.
And Marcus, to touch on your point earlier, to our listeners, bringing our listeners up to speed, North Gwinnett is playing without Cameron Calhoun, who is arguably one of the best defenders in the entire state of Georgia, let alone Gwinnett County. And he brings so much to the table, being able to guard multiple positions. he's a leader for this team. He brings that toughness that every team needs. And the team that we saw go to the Elite Eight last year and what they had coming back, this isn't that same team with the departure of T.J. Howard and current situation with Malik Carter not being out here on the team, and obviously, like I mentioned, with Cameron Calhoun. So they are playing with guys that are starting for them that not necessarily we're going to be dependent upon in that role.
Yeah.
So this is a big challenge for Coach Zach Smith and this North Gwinnett squad. This whole not just this game, but the entire year.
Yeah. It's a great point. It might be cliche, but they say setbacks are set up for comebacks. And in that same mindset, I think if you're North Gwinnett, you see opportunities for certain players to be able to show what they can do in the absence of some of these players. We may not see it early season. It's a marathon, not a sprint, but it'll be fun to be able to watch their progress.
Yeah, many times they'll feel like they have to pull together. And they'll wind up playing a little better as a team when they're missing a great player like that or two.
Stuckey trying to work it to Tajik on the inside. Tajik, a player, he brings that hustle, that physicality. He brings that every game, but he's getting a better feel for the game as this season goes on for Coach Smith's squad.
Yeah, it's a nice little duck in there by North Gwinnett. I think you got to look to get the ball inside. That's, whether that's through the drive, Rick, or through post-ups. Even if you don't have a back-to-the-basket post player, I'm of the opinion, get it in there and play off that guy through cuts to the basket, but just inside-out play, putting pressure on the rim. And so it's good to see North Gwinnett looking to feed the post.
Yeah, you don't need a true post player to go inside. Yeah, you got to have an outside game, inside game, and a penetrating game, right? Well, like you said, you can get the ball inside on a pass and cut, on a dribble penetration, pull up. You just got to kind of think outside the box. As long as you're in there in the paint threatening the rim, good things can happen on your perimeter. But I think Pope is just a little deeper inside as well. And I think that's why they can pressure on the perimeter so well, or more than North Gwinnett.
Yeah, you're right, Rick. They've got Garrett DeBoles and Drew Romick, that provide a little bit of size inside, and so.
Yeah, they've already changed a few shots, blocked one or two here and there, and that you're reluctant to bring the ball inside.
So we see DeBoles, the aforementioned DeBoles, going in there for a rebound. He's got several of them here in this game. Gets tied up there with Tajik. We'll see whether it's ruled a foul or a jump ball there as the officials deliberate. Official Lewis says it is a jump ball. Possession arrow is going to send it over to North Gwinnett.
Both these teams are coming off games late last night. Pope had a big win against an Etowah, very, very good Etowah high school team. They hit a three-pointer at the buzzer to win that one 63-60 for Pope to stay undefeated. So this team's used to winning.
Sorry to interject, Sam, but who hit that three? Are you aware?
Last night's game?
Yeah. No problem if not. I was just figuring with the way Hollis has shot the ball here in this game, it was probably a safe assumption that he might have been the one, but just asking you that.
Don't have that answer, Marcus. I apologize.
No problem, man. Really, I was just using that as a segue to give Hollis credit for his shooting here in this one. But Coach Torbett, you touched on something as far as, not having to necessarily be a big player to get the ball into the post. Would love to hear your thoughts on the concept of a, positionless basketball, focusing less on power forward, center, and those designations, and more on just having 5 players at play. Your thoughts on that way of thinking?
Well, I'm watching for it in every game, and I've mentioned this before. When you're on the perimeter and you just can't take what the defense gives you, when you're forced to get the ball to player A and move over here to spot B, then suddenly the advantage is to the defense. And I think there's something to gain there from being able to play from anywhere, to take whatever the defense gives you And look, I just think that's where the game is headed.
Yeah.
The ones, the twos, the threes, the slashers, the power forwards. I mean, that's all good identifiers. But when it puts somebody, what's the word I'm looking for?
Pigeonhole.
Pigeonhole. Thank you. When you pigeonhole players like that, you cut down on their ability to develop, and if you can't develop, then you certainly can't play in any position, and you certainly can't take whatever the defense gives you. And this isn't just in high school. I'm watching college games. Two nights ago, and the team that lost suffered because they've only got one true ball handler. I mean, how can you say you play basketball and you can't dribble?
So to that point, Rick, I mean, you travel, you work with high major Division I programs on the women's side and college programs, men's and women's side, high school programs. You've traveled overseas and studied their game and helping you create the read and react offense. And you and I have talked about this. I've heard you speak on clinics at it. We are moving, if we're not already there, in a positionless game of basketball, right? So to that point, I mean, that's the message you're trying to get across right now, and that's what you're basically saying. We're moving to a positionless game. We've got to develop players, total player development. That's what the European model is developed on, right?
Certainly, yeah. You need to not just develop the players. That's half of it. You've got to develop the entire player, and then you've got to have a system in which they can take advantage of that. If watching you work out players and train players, Sam, what a shame it would be to take some of the players that I've seen you train and then put them into a system where they can't take advantage of it. They know how to read the D, they know how to take advantage, and they can't because they're stuck in an old paradigm that says, I play here, I never go inside, I pass, I stand, this is my role. And I just think that's the advantage is to the defense when you do that. And what a waste of all that good training.
Yeah. Absolutely right. Go ahead, Marcus.
At the free throw line there, we've got number 23, Jackson Baylark. And, we talked about North Gwinnett being in striking distance, and whenever they try to inch closer, the Greyhounds have been able to respond up to this point.
Yeah, Baylark's just a freshman, Marcus, a lefty freshman here. For him to get minutes in Coach Abney's system says a lot about the trust that Abney has in him. Not a whole lot of freshmen play for him, and to crack into that rotation that's veteran heavy.
Scrounge for the loose ball. As Tajik not going to give up possession of it easily. Both teams doing a good job of going to the deck to get that one.
Yeah, Pope has been able to reverse sides of the floor against this 1-3-1. That's where I've seen it's strong on its first side. But the fact that they've been able to dribble penetrate, pull a defender, kick it to the other side, either catch and shoot or catch and drive that closeout, that to me, that's almost the difference in the game.
Stolen there by DeBose. He's been all over the place here in this game. And one counted. Chase Hutchins, his Twitter handle is chasing my goals. I'd say that's a good job of doing it there on that play as he gets the and one, has a chance to make it a three-point play the hard way.
Yeah, Marcus, you're catching and attacking while the defense is not set up, Again, back to what Sam said about watching a lot of games, whenever the ball sticks in a spot or in a player's hands, the defense can get set, and now you're attacking it on its strongest side.
I was speaking earlier this week, Rick, with the NBDL head coach, and who's worked with the Spurs system. And Greg Popovich, they said, has a rule with the Spurs. It's a 0.5 rule. When you catch that ball, once a decision made in 0.5 seconds, either we're going to shoot it, pass it, or drive it. And we saw that in the run they went on last year in the playoffs with the ball movement, and it's just so much more difficult to guard, to your point, with just Pope is doing a good job of moving that ball.
Right.
We're going to delay game here with 15 seconds left. Pope has a 16-point lead. Coach Abney wants to take the final possession here.
Yeah, now what were they up? 13 at half?
14, I
14
believe.
and a half.
43-29.
Nice take.
That's a weight room move there
Yeah.
to end that third quarter. Nice move there by Chase Hutchins. So we're going to take a break as we see that last move by Hutchins. The instant replay presented by CBA Sports. Protects the ball, slices through, layup drill on the inside. Chase Hutchins, the GCSU signee, getting it done here for Pope as they take an 18-point lead into the fourth quarter. Marcus Burnett joined by Sam Allen and Rick Torbett. We'll be right back with the fourth quarter here from the GAC BCB Showcase shortly. And welcome back here. The beautiful Greater Atlanta Christian facility as we're ready to bring you more action here live from the GAC Blue Collar Basketball Showcase. Marcus Burnett joined by Rick Torbett, a wealth of basketball knowledge. Pleasure to be here on the microphone with you as we try to see whether or not the North Gwinnett Bulldogs can climb out of this hole that the Greyhounds have put them in.
Yeah, thanks, Marcus. It's an honor to be here and a pleasure. And watching two really good teams. I'll tell you, Pope has pressed the whole game, and North Gwinnett has done a really good job. If players could just watch one thing, and it's that North Gwinnett will get the ball in the middle. If they get the ball in the middle, full court, they'll break the press. It's one simple thing. Of course, you can't get the ball in the middle unless you get a player into the middle. Okay, here we go. It's some transition.
Hutch is going to be fouled on that play. You know, we've really seen Pope play team ball, and I give Hutchins credit because a lot of times when you see guys that are top billing, a little bit more notorious than others, they feel like things have to go through them. We really saw Pope play team ball, move the ball around, get Hollis and others involved. Now we're seeing Hutchins pick his spots and attack.
Yeah, it's going to come back to you. You know, another great lesson for players to hear. Look, you give it the ball up, you share the pill, it's going to come back to you over the course of the game. And it's to your point. It's doing it right here.
Gift that keeps on giving for Pope. They've got 7 minutes and 4 seconds left. We'll see if that trend continues. Hutchins off the mark on the first free throw, second one on the way, and he'll get it to go.
Yeah, Marcus, they made there we go, ball into the middle, turns and looks opposite. That's just good fundamentals. Very good. Break the press and try to attack while defense is setting up. Just a turnover.
And that's one of those things to where, you know, they're getting that first step as far as breaking the press, but you know, you give Pope credit because they're making them work extra hard to convert once they do so. But then it goes back to that dynamic we talked about. North Gwinnett with some different pieces out there.
Yep.
Not an excuse, but it takes time to make that transition.
Well, Marcus, you know, nice basket there by Garrick.
DeBowles. Yep, DeBowles.
DeBowles, yeah. And again, many teams will press. It's not necessary in the press to steal it, as much as it is to perhaps force the team being pressed to go on and take a shot out of their rhythm at a different speed, not getting into their offense. And I think we got a little bit of that effect going on here with North Gwinnett.
You see a lot of basketball. Your thoughts when it comes to a press on the importance of angles, and not always necessarily reaching or going for a steal, but using your angles to be able to make sure the press is as effective as possible.
Yeah, make the offense break your press. Don't give it to them. And that's a lot easier said than done when it comes to teaching it and coaching it. Easy to sit here and say it.
Stuckey's going to go to the free throw line for North Gwinnett. Jack Stuckey, the senior guard for Coach Smith. As I mentioned, he shoots the ball well from the perimeter, but also doesn't mind mixing it up also.
I can't help but think that there was one run in the second quarter that pushed this out to a 14-point lead. And right now it's, what do we got here? A 17-point lead. So they've increased it by 3. It's still not insurmountable if North Gwinnett can make a run, just a similar run. Not all, you can't get it all back at once, but they often say the game is a game of runs.
Yeah.
And if you could just put together 2 good ones and get close enough, it'll change the end game.
Yeah, most definitely. We'll see if North Gwinnett can do that. We touched on it earlier in the webcast, some of the pieces that they're missing today, but Coach Smith using it as an opportunity to develop and teach some of the guys that he has there in the lineup today. But be sure to stick with us all day for our matchups. After this one, you've got Peachtree Ridge versus Berkmar, 2 very well coached teams, 2 very solid representatives of Gwinnett County basketball, followed by Laney versus Norcross. And if you like defense, you will definitely love that game. The Laney Wildcats are nonstop on the defensive end, and Jesse McMillan and Norcross know a thing or two about that same mode of play as well. So like you said, Rick, no better place to be here today.
No. Can't think of a better place.
I want to thank some of our sponsors, including Point Guard College. If you want to be the type of player that stands out to a good coach this summer, join over 10,000 dedicated players nationwide and discover how to play smart basketball, be a coach on the court, and be a leader in practices, games, and everyday life. Visit pgcbasketball.com for more details. So we're back to the action, 45-62. Passing up on the three-pointer, but good defense there by Leifson and knock it out of bounds. The post ball there along the baseline. Hollis, that's too much room with the way he shot the ball, but luckily for North Gwinnett, he misses. James will bring it up.
Yeah, that pass the opposite corner against a 1-3-1. Okay, ball out. It's coming back this way with North Gwinnett.
When you look at the pieces that they have out there on the floor, you talked about being able to have those runs, maybe cut the lead in half and go from there, but it's hard to figure out where your points come from. Leifson has potential. Smith can also shoot it from the outside, but it's hard to be able to put together the kind of run that you need to get back into this game when you still have some question marks offensively.
Oh yeah, it always comes in like a 2 stops in a row. A stop, a score, a stop, a score. You force a timeout. You just got to have the ability to do that defensively. You got to have something that can apply pressure, and offensively, we've got 5 minutes left. You can't take 30 seconds.
Yeah,
get a shot off.
DeBowe's with it. They're trying to get it inside to Ramage. Good hustle there by number 21 there for North Gwinnett. That's the big fella, Tajik, but he's going to be called for the foul. I believe that might be his 5th. That is going to be his 5th foul. Coming in is Brian Eberhardt. Again, the big fella, Tajik, if you point out any deficiencies, it will never be in the area of effort and hustle for the big fella. I guess it didn't take the Bulls long to recognize, hey, we've got that presence out. Let's attack it instantly.
Yep. And then the tip in. But the tip in by Drew. And again, here's that pressure.
They force a turnover. They can't convert on the other end. Now Leafson trying to bring it the other way. Sets up the spin move, but the long arms of DeBow just changing shots in there.
Nice move, up and under. That could have been a three-point play there. There was some contact on that, but nicely done.
That was Eberhardt, the recent substitution in. He's a sophomore. With the bucket there, Hollis can't get the three-pointer to go. Long rebound, pulled up by Leafson. He'll get it to Sultan.
Oh, my goodness. I think that could have been a foul.
As that contact came definitely after it, got the swat clean up top, but definitely a lot of contact there on the follow-through.
That's how you make a comeback.
Yep.
That's how you make a comeback.
So that's going to send Jaden Sultan to the free throw line.
Yeah, if North Gwinnett can take advantage of these missed perimeter shots by Pope, the rebounds are usually coming off long, just like that last one, and immediately push it down the floor. And you collapse some time frames that way. Get up a shot, clock is stopped. You're at the free throw line. It's now just a 14-point lead. 4 minutes to go. Still got a game here, Marcus.
Yeah. And I think you're exactly right. If they can, use that defense and really get going, because I think we've seen if it's, half-court set versus half-court set, that favors Pope.
Right. Yeah, it sure does. I've always been amazed that, if you hit a few perimeter shots against the zone in the first half, a team, that team will, they believe they're hot, and they'll keep shooting them. So sometimes it works to their disadvantage at a time like right now.
Yeah.
Of course, if they hit them, they'll cinch this game. But if they keep on taking them and missing them with no chance for a putback, if these come off long and Dirk and Drew and Garrett doesn't have a chance for putbacks on the inside.
Yeah.
That's how you mount a comeback. We got an 11-point game here, Marcus.
Very good one. 4 minutes, 11 seconds left to play. And, we touched on it right when you joined us right after halftime about the fact that Pope has definitely had more momentum. They've been in a better rhythm. North Gwinnett kind of scrambling a little bit, trying to, make do. But at the end of the day, they're still in striking distance despite all of it.
I keep looking at the scoreboard expecting a bigger lead.
Yeah.
The whole game. Haven't you? I mean, if I wasn't watching the scoreboard, I would think maybe there's a 20 or 22, 23-point lead.
Yeah.
And yet they're here within striking distance. And they've got possession of the ball.
Yeah, and we talked about, you being from a coaching background, how, you want to get the win during that one game, but how many valuable lessons can you use as momentum or building blocks going into the next few games? And, I'm sure they want to win this one, but regardless, they definitely have some things that they're going to be able to use as positive takeaways just looking at the score as it stands right now.
Oh, I think that's an exceptional coach. I mean, the coach that can teach, during this, can you learn and can you get better when you're winning? Can you take away anything that will make you better down the road? Because you said it earlier, this is a marathon. It's a tournament sport.
We are back to the action. North Gwinnett with the ball. They've climbed to within 11. Three-pointer on the way. Ethan Smith makes it a single-digit deficit there for North Gwinnett.
7-point game.
We talked about opportunities. I mentioned how I covered the Jared Cook Classic in North Gwinnett weeks ago. 3-day event. Every day I was there. The only guy that would be there in the gym would be Ethan Smith. They're getting repetitions in prior to. He hits a big one there to bring them to within 8.
Yep.
And you talked about runs and putting the other team in a position where they have to respond to maybe not having that same buffer that they've had throughout the game.
Yep. And Pope's trying to take the air out of it right now, trying to run some clock off. And they're going to force North Gwinnett to come on out on the perimeter in this 1-3-1. They just can't. We'll see how long it takes before they begin to trap or go man-to-man or foul.
Yeah, exactly. And it's always tough at this point because in my opinion, sometimes stalling, it can be Pandora's box. It may look good, but once you get to a point to where it's more about stall versus scoring, it can be hard to jumpstart scoring if need be.
Boy, Mark, as you said it, and I always worried about that. Do you stick with what got you there? You go to a stall and suddenly you lose your momentum, you lose your rhythm. Shooters lose rhythm. I've done it both ways.
Yeah.
As a coach, and I really think I'd almost err now on the side of I'm going to keep doing what got me this lead.
Yeah.
Stay in my rhythm. But then again, it's easy for me to say sitting here with headphones on and not on the bench.
That's a great point. As a coach, you got to go with your gut, because at the end of the day, you'll have a faction of people that are going to say you should have done it the other way, regardless of what you do.
Oh, of course. That's the nature of coaching.
At the free throw line now, Borko. He's good on the first.
Yeah.
Good on the second as well.
10-point lead. 3 minutes.
Here's James. Gets it over to Smith. Smith uses the screen. He's going to pull it. Off the mark. Another rebound for DeBoles. They've got two Greyhounds ahead. Nice job of coming down with that catch. Julio Jones would have been proud of that reception, as it's finished there by number 24. That's Hutchins. Eberhardt over to Smith. Smith with the elbow jumper. They go down to the deck to get it, 50-50 ball, and the possession arrow is going to send it over to the Greyhounds.
Oh, wow. So extending their pressure now, full court. They have gone to man. Man to man.
DeBoles. That's just how he's been all game, just effective.
Well, that's probably why they wanted to stay in the zone as long as they could.
Yeah. Hutchins, the Red Sea parts for him as he looks to put the finishing touches here on this one. As we approach a minute 40 left to play here in this game. As the Greyhound said, don't let that one possession fool you. We're looking to finish and finish emphatically. As we see the dunk and one, thanks to DeBoles. And we talked about the solid coaching job that Coach Zach Smith has done with North Gwinnett, responding to the adversity here in this game. And, we've got to give credit to Coach Abney as well. We talked about the ebb and flow and being able to decide whether to, take the air out of the basketball or continue to finish. Safe to say they found a happy medium, huh, Rick?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they've kept their composure here. And like any good team, North Gwinnett's going to make a run at you. And you could feel it here, couldn't you?
Yeah.
I mean, there was a point there. Oh, my gosh, we're down to 7. We're down to 8. And Pope shows some experience there in handling that, and then being able just to come back and put it away. Just can't fall apart.
James will bring it up. Smith tries the three. He's off the mark. Sultan still fighting for it. Tips it to Eberhardt. Eberhardt's going to be fouled. Easy call for the official there. We'll have some free throws.
Now, you were talking earlier, Marcus, about things that teams can take away. And, I think this North Gwinnett team, I'd be showing them over and over again that 2 or 3 minute window where they turned it around and made it an 8-point game there, and that's something to build on. Something to build on.
I'm sure Coach Smith and his Bulldogs will be able to do. It's a lot of good basketball in Georgia, but when you look at Gwinnett County,
oh my goodness, yeah, it's its own basketball mecca in and of itself.
For those that aren't familiar with the area, you've got programs such as Norcross, a basketball factory to where if you don't know the name, I'm sure you've seen some of their products, such as Al Farouk Aminu, currently in the NBA, Jeremy Lamb, won that national championship at UConn, now plays for the Thunder. as well as a couple others. Even on the girls' basketball side of things,
Yep.
Maya Moore, a Collins Hill graduate.
Yep. All you got to do is look at the state tournament, Marcus, right?
Yeah.
And count the number of teams on both girls and boys side, you know.
Yeah.
Get down to the Final Four and say, okay, now where are they from? Or get to the Elite Eight, and look at how many come from Gwinnett County. It's amazing.
You know, I love the dynamic. It really reminds me of when you talk about SEC football. You've obviously got a high bar that's been set. The numbers reflect it, but then you've got a lot of people that say, it's good, but it ain't that good. You know, it's always fun to be able to have those kind of debates.
Right.
Three-pointer knocked down from the corner. Make it 61-75. Spinning and finishing inside. That's number 25, Philip Husney. Leafson back out to Smith. Smith off the mark on the shot. Gonna have a foul called there. And you can tell the officials are at that point to where, look, we're only gonna call them if we absolutely have to. And that was one of those they absolutely had to.
I could watch these kinds of games all day, Marcus. I mean, both teams, a lot of class, play hard.
Yeah.
Neither one has any problem going on the floor after the ball. This is just fun. This is the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. At the free throw line now, Connell McCurry. And be sure to stick with us after the game as tournament director, or showcase director, I should say, Sam Allen will be here with Coach Abney of Pope High School, as well as the most outstanding player for the game. That selection will come after we finish up here. Sultan off the mark on that three-pointer. So Pope will rebound it. They've got about 10 seconds. Be sure to stick with us. Like I said, we've got a great slate for the rest of the day. And we appreciate Pope and North Gwinnett for giving us a great start to it as we look back at our CBA Sports instant replay. Garrick DeBoles, a big reason as we see him flush with two hands. He's affected the box score in a variety of ways. That one probably the most visually appealing in the and one dunk. Big fella playing above the rim. So I'm Marcus Burnett. I've had the pleasure of being joined by Rick Torbett of Better Basketball. Stick with us for this webcast as we still have the most outstanding player presentation coming up shortly.
Already signed with him. We're back here at Greater Atlanta Christian. Just concluded the Pope and North Gwinnett final. Pope came away victorious. I'm joined here by Garrick DeBoles, senior for Pope High School. Garrick, first off, congrats on the win.
Thank you.
Thought you played a fantastic game, finished with 21 points. And as Coach Zach Smith said right before we jumped on air, Zach Smith said, hey, I just admire the way you play. You keep your mouth shut, you work hard, and go about your business. So tell us about your approach coming into tonight's game and the message Coach Abney gave and that you guys as players had coming into the game against North Gwinnett.
Well, we didn't really know a lot about the team that we were going to play. So we got the scouting report before the game, and we found out 2 of their players were not going to be playing. So we figured that we can come out here and just attack the rim and just do what we know how to do. And that's what we came out to do.
Yeah, because you guys came off a big win last night. Buzzer beater, 63-60 over Etowah, so there's not a lot of prep time on Friday night coming in Saturday early afternoon. And you guys went to second round in state last year.
Yes,
you
sir.
returned all starters.
Yes, yes.
What is the expectations for this season?
Well, we've been together since about 5th grade, so we all know what each other can do. So we know that this year is special and that we can really make a dent in the playoff.
Garrick, you've signed with Embry-Riddle, school down in Florida, Daytona Beach.
Yes, sir.
I know you're excited about that. I know that coaching staff, and they're excited to have you. Congratulations on
Thank
that.
you.
Wish
Thank
you the best of luck the rest of the season. I'm
Thank you.
excited to come watch you again. And like I said, best of luck.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right. Pat Abney. Pat, congrats on the win. You beat a North Gwinnett team. I know they're a little bit depleted, but nonetheless, you guys came off an emotional win last night. Quick turnaround, 1:30 start time. Tell us what you were thinking coming into this game, what your message was to your team.
Yeah, we used a lot of energy last night. It was a big region game, so I was a little concerned with just physically how we would respond. We got 7 seniors that knew how to make sure we were ready emotionally and mentally, and they did. They were ready to go. We took some ice baths last night after the game to get prepared for this afternoon. I thought we played well. We had a couple of stretches where we kind of gave up a few easy shots, but I thought for the most part we did a nice job. And Mitch in the first half kind of made some big threes to kind of open us up, and then Garrett was just a beast the whole game.
He was, and Mitch hit I think 5 threes in the first half. Garrett I think was just consistent throughout the game. And like I just mentioned with Garrett, Pat, you guys went to the second round of state, returned all 5 starters. Sure, there's pretty big expectations. What are the expectations for this season?
Yeah, well, I mean, we got them up there. Region title, state title. I mean, it's all up there. This is the one team. I've always had lofty goals for all of our teams, but we have never put that state title on the board in 21 years since I've been there, and it wasn't a knock on the other teams. I just knew that the other teams weren't good enough to do it. And I think this team is, winning state titles a lot of luck, but you got to have a lot of talent as well. So I think the fact that we've got good balance, we've got good guards, we've got some posts, we got a little bit of size, we're fairly athletic. I think on any given night, I think we can play with anybody. And, we'll take our chances. And I like this team because they night in and night out, they show up and they guard. When we shoot the ball well, we're really good, and we did that tonight for the most part.
Well, I just want to say, Pat, I've always enjoyed watching your teams play. Really respect the way that your guys play, the way you play together, your coaching style. We really appreciate you being a part of this event, and wish you nothing but the best going forward the rest of the season.
Appreciate it. Thanks for the invite.
Yeah,
Enjoyed
thank
it.
you.
Y'all did a nice job.
Thank you.